Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the Memory of Curse did just reset today, which is always one of my highlights of the HSR patch. And of course, we have had two very new units, those being CERYDRA as well as HYSILENS, which have been an upgrade to some existing as well as old teams, which is very exciting. So you know what, let's just use both, see just how strong these teams end up being. So for the first half, we're going to be going for a final team with CERYDRA alongside Sunday as well as Aventurine. And then for the second half, we're going to be going for your typical dot team using HYSILEN, also using Hyacine as our sustainer. All premium units here are E0S0, but full character builds will be at the end. With that being said, let's just hop right into the runs. But real quick, if you want to pull for any future HSR characters, then I have a perfect thing for you, and that's today's sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use Lootbar to top up in your favorite games like Honkai Style or Genshin Impact and save up to 25% on your purchases. Lootbar leverages favorable exchange rates and uses Hoyoverse partner ads so you can get the most affordable prices and enjoy all Hoyoverse top-up bonuses. Transactions on Lootbar are simple, safe and secure, as you only need to enter your UID and your region in order to get fast delivery. For example, if I want to buy the 3,280 generic shards and receive double with the first time top-up bonus, all I have to do is enter my UID as well as my server. And then if I go to top up now, they typically arrive in less than a minute. And creators like Raiden Shotgun, To That Time, and Mordex Tryhard are all also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy. And they also have some very good reviews on Trustpilot, and I just use them myself so I can vouch for the authenticity, speed, and security. New users can also get an extra 10% off, so be sure to check out Lootbar with the link in the description. Thank you to Lootbar, and back to the video. Alright, well then, here we are now on the first half with our final team. Now, of course, just recently we did get the HSR livestream, and it does seem, or rather we know that we will be getting Dunhunk's preservation form for free, which is very exciting. And you know, it seems like he could be a decent option for final teams, which is very exciting. But for the time being, this is what we have to go ahead and settle with. Let's go ahead and use our CERYDRA's ultimate. I don't think or do I skill here? I think I'm gonna preserve the skill points just because they're pretty important when we actually come out of Phainon's ultimate cycle. Let's go ahead and ult here on our Sunday and then pop the skill, and now we can get our ultimate up on our Phainon. The thing is, real quick, I just want to use a basic on Aventurine, then use his ultimate, gets the crit damage debuff, but then maybe we can get his shield as well. Okay, no, we can't, unfortunate, but oh well, what can we do? Anyway, let's go ahead and ult now on our Phainon. Oop, bit of lag there. We are at 6 out of 6, thankfully, to popping his ultimate, which is very nice. I thought that for a second I messed up by not using CERYDRA's skill. I'm not 100% sure what the optimal rotations are here, but we do deal basically 1,000,000 damage in that rotation there, which is very nice. Although now there are 4 targets on field. Also, I forgot to take a real quick look at our stats. We are currently at 102% crit rate, basically 350% crit damage, as well as 139 speed, which is very nice for us. Also quite a lot of attack as well. Because there are 4 targets on the field, I am just going to go ahead and use our W here, which will allow us to pop another meteor strike in a sec. The W only hits for 122k, unfortunate, but let's see how much does the meteor strike hit for, and the answer is, okay, 229k. That's actually lower than normal. My guess is that's because there are multiple targets on the field. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use Phainon into multi-target all that often. Normally it's like 2, maybe 3 enemies max, so maybe I should have flipped the sides around, but we'll go ahead and see, because Dot would be pretty good into this. But I saw wind and physical weakness on the second half, so I just decided to put the Dot team there. We'll see if that ends up being a mistake. We have another E here, and we end up being, okay, yeah, 278k again. Actually, now that I'm looking at our CERYDRA stacks, we're actually not going to be able to pop a double meteor strike at the end. I think that's possibly because I didn't skill with her at the beginning, so maybe I actually messed that up. Like I said, I haven't played much CERYDRA Sunday. I tried doing a sustainless run, which I nearly pulled off, but then last second, literally our entire team died. It's not like only one. It's not like only CERYDRA died, because first CERYDRA died, global passive popped, and then just everyone on the team died again. So yeah, that is definitely the problem with sustainless Phainon. That's why I am very excited for Dunhunk's preservation form. I hope that makes the sustain teams for Phainon feel even stronger. Now, the problem here is that our Phainon is about to trigger the double skill, which we don't want to do until he's back in his ult, because that would be pretty unfortunate. Maybe though, actually maybe we'll be able to trigger it if our enemies target us enough. Let's see. Okay, now we're at 8 stacks. If the summons hit us enough, although I'm not sure they'll survive. Okay, they do. Perfect. 9 stacks, 10 stacks. Okay, lovely. Now this means that all we have to do is skill on our Aventurine as well as our Sunday. And now we will have all of our stacks. So let's just go ahead and ult on our Phainon right away before we waste the double skill on him. And now we can go ahead and trigger the double skill. Perfect. We kind of saved ourselves there, I would like to think. I also don't know why his Phainon was like slightly slower than our Sunday there. That was unfortunate, but it actually ended up working in our favor, which we will definitely go ahead and take. We do get a nice 705k there into 2 targets, which is very nice to see. I think I'm actually gonna focus out this Stingray because if he summons in his targets, then our damage will take a nosedive again. Okay, I don't think I want to skill here. Instead, we're just gonna go ahead and basic attack there, and then we can skill here. Deal a nice 603k into 2 targets. That's more like what I would like to see. Although, unfortunately, once again, our damage is going to tank because the summons have spawned in again. I'm just going to go ahead and use our basic attack because we'll get the 4 stacks. And actually, never mind. Maybe I should have used the W. But it's fine. We go ahead and go for a double meteor strike again. 363k into 352k. So, you know, I guess we'll take a 700k rotation there. When we come out of our ult, the big hit, will probably deal quite a lot of damage, I want to say, because that is an AoE hit. Obviously the meteor strike is bounce, which is why it is getting affected by how many enemies there are. Okay, interesting. Now our Phainon's gonna go first. That's fine because we don't have the skill cloning yet. We are probably looking at a 27th cycle here. The thing is, we do want... Okay, why did that guy just take 200k dot damage? Okay, that's insane. It's like I'm playing Kafka. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and target Japal, get some extra damage in just to make sure he doesn't live on like 1%. And then that will also keep the big the big Stingray guy alive, so maybe we can get hit by him one more time. Would be pretty nice. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use our skill on our CERYDRA, and then also go ahead and use our ultimate. So we are now at 5 stacks of all of her stuff. Please hit our... Okay, never mind, you didn't hit our Phainon. That was pretty useless of you. You also didn't hit Phainon, but at least that did. Nice. As long as we get to 11 stacks, we're fine. So we need to get hit one more time. Perfect. Okay. Actually, no, we didn't even need 11 because we had our ult up on Sunday as well. We actually only needed like 12. But anyway, that is perfect. Now we can go ahead and ult our Phainon, refresh all the skills, skill our Phainon as well, and then skill normally so that we can get the double hit as soon as we ult. Actually, I think we were going to get it anyway because ulting will give us one more stack. But hey, at least we get 7 out of 6 stacks now. Let's see, am I correct? Okay, no, I'm not. Okay, interesting. Anyway, taking a look at our stats, 6.7k attack, 100 crave, 380 crit damage, probably more from Sacrados. And into single target, we hit basically 700k on Japad, and that's without even needing the second meteor strike just in case, which is perfect. So there we go. We end up with a free cycle. Like I said, I much prefer playing Sustain Phainon just because we really don't need to bother with all the RNG of playing Sustainless. Like I said, hopefully Dunhung will be an even better Sustainer than Aventurine is, but we'll definitely go ahead and take that clear. It was, I don't want to say pretty clean because I definitely made some misplays, which is mostly from my lack of experience playing a lot of CERYDRA as well as Phainon together. But like I said, we'll just go ahead and take it, and we might as well go ahead and go for the dot side now. I nearly accidentally started the battle with Kafka's technique. That would not have been ideal. Luckily, HYSILENS' fish did hit Lygus, which is very nice for us. Anyway, I think here we're just going to go ahead and keep basic attacking on our Hyacine. The good thing about HYSILENS, which I keep saying this, but I wish this is something that CERYDRA had, she does reduce the enemy's attack percentage, which means that we end up taking less damage, which when you combine with Hyacine's max HP buff, you become basically unkillable into even the worst of situations. Anyway, we went ahead and applied defense shred with our skill there on Black Swan as well as some dot, so we can go ahead and ult on our Kafka as well, and also make sure that we don't waste a follow-up attack. which is nice for us. We're just gonna go ahead and basic attack again on our Hyacine. Our Hysilens will get nuked here, but that's fine. Yeah, as we see, it barely does even half of her HP. Actually, it doesn't deal half of her HP. We just need her not to get sniped now. Okay, nice. That actually works out very much in our favor, I would personally say. Go ahead and ult for a nice 329k. We definitely go ahead and take those. Then I think we want to go ahead and skill here on our Black Swan, and then we can save the ult for a little bit, I suppose. And now we can also ult on our Hyacine, get our heal as well as max HP buff up, and there we go. Everyone is so much healthier now. So I'd say at this point we're basically kind of unkillable. At least that's what I would say. Like I said, the sustain in this team is very, very strong. I wish CERYDRA had that passive because it would make playing CERYDRA-PHAINON so much easier. But then I guess the thinking is that, you know, if you play CERYDRA-PHAINON, then you're probably mogging most of the game for at least quite a decent while. So yeah, like I said, hopefully Dunhung will be a very, very strong sustainer for our good old friend from ID Zelizii. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna keep on basic attacking here on our Hyacine, I think. Although we do want to use our Kafka ult first, so that if we proc the follow-up attack here, we're not wasting any energy. There we go, perfect. And there we go, we are up against Lygus or Xander right now. And oh my god, let me just say right now that having his boss theme here is absolutely incredible. Even though we're not very low, we're gonna go ahead and refresh our Hyacine ult as well, so that we can cleanse our Kafka. Hyacine is just such an incredible sustain, man. She has to be my favorite. Her offensive capabilities in the right team are very good. Her casterist stack generation is incredible, and then just her sustain in basically every other team in the game as well is also just fantastic. Absolutely love playing Hyacine. Even though she did cost us 160 pulls, you know, I always say Ika ate all of our pulls that day. I definitely think it was worth it, both from how strong it makes our casters and then just also having a very strong sustainer as well. Because our sustain is so strong, I think I'm not gonna care about the damage part of the ultimate, and we're just gonna go ahead and pop it. I don't care if it deals massive damage to us, we're not even in the red yet. We could skill here on Hyacine, but honestly I'm so confident I don't even think we need to. As long as Kafka isn't the one getting bullied, we should be fine. Okay, I will be honest, I've only fought Lygus once, and that was during the story, so I honestly don't even remember most of this stuff here. I remember he has two forms, but I don't even remember properly what they do. And now we're gonna go ahead and ult on our Hyacine, get basically all of our team's HP back. Let's see, and yep, there we go. Just the, like I said, this team is just so comfortable, and then also the premium dot team does a lot of damage even at E0S0. I can't even imagine how, pardon me, I can't even imagine just how much stronger this team gets with some vertical investment as well. And I know there are a lot of people who have vertically invested into Black Swan as well as Kafka, because, you know, back when Dot was getting no love whatsoever, they basically had no other choice if they wanted to keep playing Dot than vertically investing in it. So I'm sure that definitely pays off now if you also pulled a Hysilens. And yeah, we do also get our Hysilens ult here, which is nice. I'm not entirely sure what that evolution mode as well as the stack counter there up top is. All I know is I want to go ahead and kill this guy as quick as possible. We are missing a bit of energy. Okay, we're not missing any energy now from our Kafka ult. Very nice. Our Ika's actually nearly dead, which isn't ideal. Although, actually, now that I think about it, Ika actually doesn't do that much for us because he won't be dealing damage. Actually, he's still dealing 71k. That's, you know, it's not insane, but it's still kind of decent if I'm being entirely honest. 338k there on the ult detonation, very nice. 103k there because we managed to break Lygus using our skill there. Okay, but he goes in his evolution mode anyway. That's a big boy hit. But again, it still doesn't even get our team to over half health. Man, I absolutely adore this team. We can also go ahead and use our ult to resummon Ika, as well as cleansing our Black Swan probably. Yep, perfect. And our team is basically at full health now as well. I mean, I just didn't glaze again, but just dealing, it's so difficult for the enemies to deal 4k damage, along with having a minus 15% attack boost. This is, I know this is insane Hysilens as well as Hyacine glaze, but dude, it's just so comfortable, man. Lygus, I'm not even scared of what he can do to us. The only thing I'm scared of is clearing in time. We have done a decent amount of his HP right now, although I suppose it could be a bit better at the same time. I am wondering whether it would have been a better idea to swap the teams around. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, we can go ahead and launch a follow-up attack. 255k there on the follow-up attack. Actually, how much HP does Lugus even have? Of course, he has a massive health bar, but I'm not sure how that actually translates to how much HP he has. Although I suppose the first half is pretty easy because Jeparad only has one health bar, so I guess he probably has a bit more to make up for it. Our Kafka is in the red, but okay, now she goes back into the blue. Although it will be our Hyacine's turn soon, and Lugus isn't going anytime soon, so I'd actually even be fine with her being in the red, because we can just go ahead and use our skill on Hysilens if we really want to. Go ahead and ult on our Kafka. Okay, for some reason it feels like we're doing a lot of damage this cycle. 564k here as well. Only 25% HP left on Lugus' health bar. We'll definitely go ahead and take that. Skill there, nearly. Okay, now we have our ult up as well, so if we're in a pinch we can go ahead and ult for some emergency healing as well. Okay, Lugus is about to take his turn. Let's just, okay, yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and pop the Hyacine ult just in case. We don't want to lose this run to taking a lot of damage. We should be, okay, actually Eco weakness breaks him there, which is nice. We deal a nice, was that 784k on the Hysilen's ult? I don't think so, that was probably 78k, right? Surely not. Okay, 466k there from the dot as well. This guy is still at 50 Arcana. Luckily, the weakness break managed to delay in time that we were able to get our Black Swan ult up so that we can actually keep this guy on 50k Arcana. 644k there, which is nice, and then 384k from the skill. This guy still has 5% HP left. We're so close to taking him down. A few follow-up attacks or a Kafka ult should be able to do the trick. Let's go ahead and cleanse our team. Probably, yeah, we don't need that many skill points. Let's see, can we clear this in the 24th cycle? You know, we're definitely 12-starring the, or 3-starring this, and then also 6-starring the MOC. Okay, yeah, we can definitely clear this in this cycle. There we go, skill, follow-up attack, and then we still had an ult spare as well. Very nice, very clean. That felt like it took much longer than it did, but no, that was actually 6 cycles, 3 cycles on both half. So we will definitely go ahead and take that. Like I said, these clears were very comfortable thanks to having strong sustain on both sides as well, and then they were also pretty fast thanks to having very strong DPSs as well. So yeah, that's it for the clears. With that, I'm very happy with how they went. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the character builds as well as outro. Well then, as you can see, both teams managed to do pretty damn well for themselves, clearing in 3 cycles each, giving us a 6th cycle, which means we had 4 cycles left to clear, which is actually pretty impressive, especially considering all units are E0S0, but I suppose that's just what happens when you're using their premium team. So, you know, we were very lucky with our CERYDRA as well as Hysilens pulls. You know, we pulled Hysilens at like, she was our first temple, so she would have been like 30 pity, and then CERYDRA we got 2 temples later at like 40 pity. So literally within like 60-ish pulls, we pulled 2 5-stars and won both the 50-50s. So yeah, the only reason why I have these premium teams is because we did get very lucky. Of course, there is a possibility that finance teams will also be upgraded with Dunhung's preservation form instead of Aventurine, which is very exciting, and because even now he does well, but with an even better sustainer, maybe he'll do even better. Now, real quick, when it comes to the character builds for our Phainon, he's on 119 speed, 82 core rate, 190 crit damage, which of course becomes over 100 in battle, as well as over 300 crit damage. And then he is also on the S5 Herstall Lycon Trace is fully maxed out. Relics he is on the Wave Trader set. Double crit speed, double crit rate with crit damage, attack boots with speed and crit damage because we don't need any more crit rate, otherwise we'd have a cap. And then physical damage on Ruthless Arena with speed, double crit, and same for the attack rope with speed and double crit. And then Eidolon's also E0. Then when it comes to our Sunday over here with all the imaginary men, 135 speed, nearly 230 crit damage as well, 134.4 ERR because he is on a S1 of Brunya's Lightcon. Traces maxed out other than the basic attack, of course, and then Sakrados just trying to get as much speed and crit damage as we can for the right speed tuning, and then as much of a buff as we can. Also on Penacony instead of Lushaka, purely because I don't have a good Lushaka to spare for our Sunday, and then he is also E0. When it comes to our CERYDRA, she's on 140 speed, 3.3k attack, 124.4 ERR as well, because she is on the S5 of the event light cone, and then traces mostly maxed out other than some wind traces, 1 level of the ult as well as basic attack. And then she is also on the Sakado set, this time grabbing speed and attack instead of crit damage. And then she is actually on Nushaka herself, which is very nice for us. And then Eidolons, of course, she is E0 as well. And then finally for our Aventurine, going back to all the imaginary men, over 4k defense, 135 speed. He is on an S5 of the trend light cone, just because this is what I used to use when I used to use him with Akron. And then also on the Knight set as well, with defense, full defense other than speed boots, and then also on Broken Keel, which gives our Phylon a little bit more crit damage, and then also E0. When it comes to our dot team, our Hysilens, 3.3k attack, 135 speed, because she is on attack boots. I always say this, but personally, in my opinion, if you can get over 160 speed, then you should run speed boots, but if you can't, then I'd just rather run attack boots and get 134 from speed substats. And then also light cones, S4, Eyes of the Prey, traces maxed out other than the basic attack. We are, of course, on the prisoner set, getting our speed and EHR requirement as needed, and then getting as much attack as we can. Also on the revelry set, we don't have a great sphere for physical damage, so we're using an attack instead, also E0. For our Black Swan, nearly 3k attack, 140 speed as well, also 120 EHR, just like our Hysilens. And then also S1, Eyes of the Prey, traces fully maxed out once again on the prisoner set. Although she is on the Pan-Cosmic set, just so that we can get that extra effective rate, which we're missing from having a low refinement of Eyes of the Prey, also E0. Also, I don't know if I showed, but our Hysilens also has 120 EHR. For our Kafka, she's on 163 speed, 3k attack, alongside 124.4 ERR as well as 82% EHR, and then S5 of the Silver of Light Cone, traces max out basically, and then also 2p speed so that we can hit that 160 very easily. And then she is once again also on Nushaka, which gives a nice attack buff to our Hysilens as well, who is kind of the main damage dealer in this team, I would say. And then also E0, and then finally our Hyacine, over 5k attack, 200 speed, over 5k HP, not attack, over 200 speed, nearly 100 crit damage as well. S5, her to store light cone, traces basically maxed out. Warrior Goddess set, but that literally does not matter in the dot team whatsoever. And then also on the Giant Tree set, just to give herself some more buffs as well as healing. And then Eidolons E0. So yeah, that's it for our character builds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know, how was this Memory of Chaos for you? With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.